Hello, indeed.
Hello, indeed.
And welcome.
It's Adele.
My mic's on. Yeah, okay. Hey.
Mine's in my crotch.
Thought it was off for a second.
My mic's
Here we are.
on.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to a very emotional
And
episode
important.
of Earbuds.
The feels are flowing.
The
today.
feels really are going to be flowing this entire episode for different reasons.
For very different
But this
reasons.
is how we're starting.
You
Welcome
know,
to Earbuds.
welcome.
We didn't say that.
Hey,
Oh, God,
over there,
welcome to
that's
Earbuds.
Tom. Tom, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tom. If you've been listening to the other 4 episodes, I hope you know who I am. Yeah, so we're starting this one with...
And I'm Nick, and this is Brian. We didn't
Hey.
do that either.
Well,
yeah,
whatever.
sorry. That was
That's-
rude of me not to do any...
Hello.
Oh, no.
Yo, where are
Mike
you?
probs?
Hey,
Hey, Nick.
see? I wasn't fucking kidding.
No, you
Ooh.
weren't wrong.
Okay.
I wonder if that's the...
I think we're all right.
Just don't have your hand down too far.
I don't think it was stuck in right.
Oh,
Stick
okay.
it in.
Sticking it.
Here it is.
This is great.
I respectfully disagree. All
Wow, eat a dick.
All right, so we'll let this.
right, we're going to be
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
we're gonna get
Hey, we
so
can't
in
hear-
trouble for that.
Okay, it's so
Yeah,
sued.
that's one we got to worry about.
Yeah.
I think so.
We can't
Yeah.
mention that in the
Hey,
comments.
if there's if SoundCloud
Warner
if
Brothers.
SoundCloud is looking for one song that people are putting on the internet,
Yes, that's the one.
If you don't see this episode ever, that's why.
That's
Yeah.
why.
I don't know. I like Adele's music. I like Adele as an artist too.
Because I think we're both on a similar page. Tom is very against this. He is just not. So Tom, explain yourself.
this
What's the deal?
I just so didn't give a shit.
Wait, pause. But everyone,
That's
this
fine,
was one of my singles this week.
Oh yeah,
This was Brian's
Yeah,
single.
a Bringle.
Brian is a Bringle.
Pringles, Ningles, and Tingles.
Jingle.
Oh my
All
god!
right. Well.
All right, so we got Pringles, Niggles, and Tinkles out of the way.
By the way,
Guys, I just
Okay, so yeah.
didn't
Yeah,
like
explain.
this song. It just I feel like I've heard this before.
fair enough.
I feel like I've heard this a lot before. Whatever this is just something I've heard.
an Adele song.
Well, no, but just like the way that it's building into it, like that pop vocal.
What is this pop
super
music? Yeah, is Adele's music pop music? I was trying to think about
It
that.
is pop
It is
music
pop
in its
music.
structure, but it definitely fluctuates from the what you typically hear on the radio.
Sure.
I
In
wrote
its
down.
Don't get me
rhythm and
wrong.
beat,
Don't get
you
me
know.
wrong. This isn't a hate on Adele. I think what is it? One the rumor has it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great song. It's really cool. That line is
bluesy,
awesome. It's bluesy.
richer,
Yeah, it has
yeah,
a different feel to it. I just feel like this somber piano. Let me tell you about next. Replace Adele with Sam Smith. I'd hear the same fucking thing.
It's like such a good point.
That's true. Yeah, I'm a sap for that shit. Then I guess
Yeah.
maybe
God,
I just pulls
I
on
was
strings.
listening. I was driving in my car with Katie, and we both were just like, Brian, why?
and this is why. And I
Yeah.
think I said this before.
You know what?
We
I
started
explained
recording.
myself.
Yeah.
You gotta explain.
So here we
yourself.
go. So I chose this because I appreciate how good her voice is. I mean, no one can doubt that.
Sure.
It's really
Yeah,
you know
definitely.
she's solid vocalist.
Extremely talented.
And you know she is a good pop songwriter. That's what she does. You know. But the reason I chose it is because. But more or less because my guess is this is going to be probably the biggest selling song of this year.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You know,
cool.
because it's
She's
what's it been,
huge.
3
She's
years
a
since her last record.
Yeah, she's
3
a
or 4?
monumental artist at this point.
Yeah.
She's a very she sold a shitload of records.
Yeah.
I think
I mean-
when I worked at Target when 21 came out, is that it? 21, 22?
I have no idea.
They're all whatever.
19, 21, and
Oh, yeah.
this
Yes.
one's
Yeah.
25.
So
I
it's
think
been
this is
4
only the third
years.
record. Yeah.
So I remember when 21 came out, I don't think there was a CD that more people of all types wanted
That's
than
awesome.
21.
I think that's
yeah,
cool.
I mean, she's extremely talented.
better
like, I'm
better
not,
that than like some really commercial like pop type thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, this is super commercial. Don't get me wrong. But
But it is different.
I
Yes.
appreciate it because, I asked, it is pop music because, now that I think about it, she writes about ex relationships and things like that. It's very relatable to anybody, and
It's-
it pulls on those really easy stereotypical
But
strings.
I guess better this than
fucking
Katy
Stevie
Perry?
Katy Perry?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
one I keep
yeah.
thinking of. Sorry, Katy.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why I appreciate
no
it.
love for
I
Katy
don't know.
Perry.
Yeah, sorry.
I'd rather hear something like this.
Right.
Sell 1,billion copies or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't. I never am looking for this.
Yeah.
Sure.
And if I'm looking for like somber music, I want it to have some fucking balls to it, or just something real to it. Like I love The National, and the National is like a bunch of sad saps. The music is all sad sap music, but it just has a lot of fucking guts to it. And when I mean balls, I'm not just looking for strictly sad male based music, but just more like I just need something with like some edge and grit to it, and like. This is just a little too polished and a little too radio friendly. Sad. Yeah, you're gonna see this. You're gonna hear this everywhere. First off, you're gonna also see it in any sad movie trailer. Yeah, this is gonna be the fucking background song for it. I swear to God, it has to be.
Hello,
whoever can afford it.
Yeah, right. We're talking big movies.
Yeah.
Big movies.
Yeah. Yeah, so
is this just a single that she just released?
This is the single, and I think the album's actually coming out this week, this Friday,
or
next Friday.
That kind of seemed like it came out of nowhere. Has this been talked about for a while?
So the deal is, this song actually was kind of, it wasn't premiered, but it was teased on the BBC like 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
The commercial was literally just the lyrics, and you could hear Adele's voice, and it didn't even go to the chorus.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, so that was a big deal. And then the song was released, and very soon after, they were like, "So the record's done," because it's been a very long time for her at least. And she, as far as anyone knew, she was on a break. They didn't know when she was coming back. So then it became a big deal very quickly because there has been sort of an anticipation. So
gotcha.
That's cool.
Which is great marketing. I mean, that's one of the biggest things about music right now is you have to have a good marketing.
Unfortunately,
plan
good marketing
if you're gonna,
ability.
I mean, that's always been true, but I think now more than ever because. It's so hard to get your.
You have to be unique about it. You have to be.
Exactly.
I mean, like.
I think that's cool though.
In a similar way though, like Daft Punk did the same damn thing that Adele did when they did Random Access Memories. They played the end of that one of Get Lucky. Mm-hmm. I think at the Super Bowl.
Oh,
it was
really?
a big. Yeah. They had like a huge premiere for it.
Holy shit,
dude! It was crazy. So yeah, I think we'll. Do you guys have any other notes?
No. I'm all right with it. You made good points, though.
Yeah,
that I had to think about.
Everything you said, I would agree with. I guess just the only thing is I'm not so over the pop thing where like when it hits that chorus, dude, it's so good. I mean, vocally, it's so good.
Right.
And I don't think even you could doubt that. But as a song, it is kind of run of the mill.
Yeah,
run of the mill. Put a little accent on
what
there.
it is. If you don't expect too much out of it, just sit back and listen to it like an Adele song. I like it. I enjoyed it at least for what it is.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah. Next song. That's her character. I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna be a Tom Burtless on a couple of these songs though. So
you're gonna beat me on Halloween.
Here we go. What?
That'd be great.
Beat me for Halloween. Just hate everything.
I'm gonna make a T-shirt with your face on it from that profile picture on Facebook. I forgot. I shouldn't have said anything. God damn it. God damn it.
It's great when you have a rebuttal and you can't fulfill it completely.
Yeah.
All right, so Nick, let's go to a Ningle.
Ningle.
I'm gonna start with, if you'll let me.
Yeah, anything.
Clams Casino, and also gonna ask both of you take the mics just a tiny bit away from your face because I'm going a little bit of distortion.
Okay,
just a little bit away.
Thanks, Dad.
So I'm God.
Yes.
And then
Tom.
brackets Lil B.
Oh yeah.
By Clams Casino.
Yeah. The reason that is there because Clams Casino is mostly a hip hop producer. This was made as like what I anticipate, like what he's just doing, making hip hop beats, for artists sending out. So Lil B's the rapper that rapped on it. And I just don't care. I like Lil B. He's interesting, but this shines through. This is just like it's like a song. It's like a song. Did you listen to it and think that it wasn't a song? Like,
well, you know what this is sampling.
Imogen Heap. Yeah. It's great.
Sorry that this is super loud for you guys right now. It'll be fine in the episode mix.
I'm totally fine with it. So
I'm down.
I've been super obsessed with this song for reasons that I've been really trying to understand too. Because it's very simple. Yeah, it's a beat with a sampled vocal,
right?
Which is kind of what I'm all about, I guess. Anyway, but from other picks, you guys know that. But it's really popular. It's like but it even if he was sending it out as like a hip hop beat and trying to get rappers to rap on it, it still has more of like a song structure to it. I don't know. It's entertaining. It still evolves. It has more vocal parts in it and stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he chops and screws the Imogen Heap song, which I can't think of the name. Do you know the name of it?
No.
I used to be a gigantic Imogen Heap fan. Okay. Actually, I think her second record, I was a really big fan of. It was right after like the whole Frau thing.
Yeah.
And I love her voice. She's one of my favorite female singers of all time. Yeah. And this is like the second, like I've heard her one of her works sampled.
Yeah.
I know there was the big one that's sampled Hide and Seek.
Oh, right.
For that giant rap song. I can't even remember who did it.
Yeah,
but
I don't remember it all.
I'm just gonna pause it. So yeah, I really, funny enough, I saw this and I was just like, why does this sound so familiar? And then I looked up the song on SoundCloud. I liked this on SoundCloud like a year and a half ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was just like, oh shit. And then I was just like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
That's great. I've listened to it on repeat for like so long, and that's, I don't know. It's not super complicated.
No,
it's pretty like not
somewhat
basic,
repetitious,
but it just hit the mark so well for like this perfect hip hop instrumental type song thing.
Oh, absolutely. The
Like,
percussion is obviously super hip hop.
Yeah,
And then that little like wavy synth line, that kind of uses the vocal alongside it. Is
it's infectious.
Killer. It's perfect.
Yeah,
it's super simple, but it's exactly what.
Yep. That's how I felt about it. It's nuts. It's so popular. There's like 3.4 million plays on SoundCloud alone.
Wow.
That's for like a song that's like almost like a beat. I think about it like that. And then
for
like
sure.
10 mil on YouTube and stuff, but the video's cool. Someone made a weird video chopping up an old movie. If you saw it on YouTube, I don't know. But
okay.
So that kind of went viral or whatever. But I don't know. I love it. It hit that perfect, simplistic song, instrumental hip hop thing, and I don't know, it's beautiful.
So so you're saying this was intended primarily to be.
Well, I'm not
like
Clams Casino, so I don't really know.
Okay.
But he was shopping it around to like rappers, and Lil B did rap on it.
Oh, okay.
So that's another thing that just kind of the other layer.
Really,
like,
this could just be this could really just be a song by itself.
Yeah,
like, it is, but
and it is, and that's how I enjoy it.
But I wouldn't expect anything more from it. I wouldn't expect even a rapper over it or anything like that. It just sounds really good.
That's
the way it is.
That's
the way
something
it's
that's
produced.
really magic about Clams too, because he just like doesn't. He didn't even know.
Good old Clams.
He didn't even. I like Clams.
Clams,
it's like clammy clams. It's like we're like friends or something.
Good old Clams. Down by the wharf.
He didn't even like know about like the whole genre of like hip hop instrumental music, like that. Like that's a thing. Like there's Tonight or I don't know, like tons of other artists that just make like hip hop influence, Philo maybe even, but like music without any lyrics. He didn't even like know about that, and he like made songs that were that.
Yeah,
and people were like, "Yo, this kind of fits along these lines."
Oh, that's awesome.
So I thought that was really interesting. So, and fits to the like context of this song like we're talking about really well.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, it's a really sweet track. Brian, what'd you think of it?
Dude, I think it's great.
Dude,
no.
All right, done.
No.
Okay, bye.
No,
episode's done. Quick steps, whatever.
But I do. I mean, it's really cool. The samples of Imogen Heap, just really cool. I mean, it's like the whole track has such this cool atmospheric feel to it. Mm-hmm. It's it actually made me think of, strangely enough, Porter Robinson from a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it didn't really have like that same like driving, know. Like,
but I know what you mean.
But it had that. It had that. Ethereal.
Yeah,
dude. There it is. There it is
again.
No, it was very atmospheric, very soundscape sort of thing.
Some type of like banner.
We should get a banner.
Ethereal.
Ethereal.
Just start counting it. I hope
someone counts.
I hope someone can count the amount of times like
right out the gate in ethereal.
Hey, no right out the gate yet.
No. Well,
this
right
song.
Out of this gate. Do you guys want to? Keep doing singles? Do you want to go to the album? Do like a little
save the album.
I like doing the album in a chunk, like at the end, maybe.
Okay, all right. Hey, bros.
Yeah,
whatever.
Bros.
Okay, hey.
So let's bounce it back to Bryan with
Here we go
with FUTUREBIRDS. Paranoia Letters.
Oh man, the beginning of the song. It's amazing.
I thought you were going to say so. The beginning of the song.
Here we go.
So
great.
Good.
It's so good.
So good.
So good. I know.
So I feel like I've heard of this band.
It's because
You just played
opened
with them, right?
like last week, and I bought the record.
I'm a good friend.
Yeah.
Friend
I
points.
asked you to come to this show. You weren't there.
Yeah, I didn't even respond to that text. Shit.
I don't think I did either.
Saved.
Capture the moments, kids.
So yeah, it comes in with this just.
Would you say it's ethereal?
You would.
I actually would. Bing! 2.
Come on with this far out, trippy, ethereal vocals,
so
guitars. It's just swirling around you. And then it turns into a rock song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it didn't.
I know, because this is almost like,
yeah.
you know, it's
I love it. It's layered
heavenly.
so well. I love everything that's going on in it. Yeah. But
so this is. Well, I kind of want to wait for the transition now.
Sure.
So
you know what? I'm going to contrast you guys a tiny bit, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wasn't huge on this intro, but when it kicks in,
really,
okay,
yeah.
I was feeling it. Yeah.
See, for me, I love the whole track. I think it's awesome.
Sure.
But the intro.
Why
is
are you holding
what
that?
sold me. I don't know, man. I'm cupping balls. What do you want?
It's like a sausage or something. Like
or you're
bye,
like
Mom.
a jazz drummer.
Oh shit.
I don't know. It just felt more comfortable.
Jazz sausage.
Okay.
You know, I'm just performing so often. I get sick of doing this.
That's,
you know,
that's my spy name, Chad Sausage.
That was my AAM screen.
That's a good one.
Chad Sausage 001. No, they're twist offs, mate.
What the? I'm new here, mate. Mate. Oh, thanks, mate.
So a little background on this track. Should we cut it? Just feel, yeah.
Give us the background, Bryan.
So little background. This is the opening track. They just released an album, I think,
called Hotel Parties.
Hotel Parties. It's just this year. I think just a few months ago. And this is the opening track. And when I went to their show, I opened for them and then watched them afterwards. And I thought they were just really good, really solid band, really solid performance. A little loud, but that could have just been the venue.
I can imagine.
But yeah.
Was that at Mohawk?
It was.
Okay.
And things sometimes get a little loud at Mohawk, you know?
They tend to.
Hey, I like you, Mohawk, but you get a little loud.
You get a little loud. You could probably turn down a few knobs.
The overall master just...
If I can give you my professional opinion, turn down a few knobs.
Just turn the knobs.
Anyways.
Anything can be fixed.
So,
probably don't need a drum overhead. That's just a side note. Keep going.
So
that was a good burp.
No, so yeah, I saw them and bought their record before I got out of there, and they gave it for me half price because we got to know them. You know, we might have.
Friendship is worth something.
I don't want to talk into the microphone about certain things, but yeah, no.
Bryan, talk out of the microphone about certain things.
Like, did you smoke the weeds with them? Is that what you did?
What?
I don't know.
That's exactly what I didn't want to talk about.
Figured. It's all good. This is not safe for moms already.
Hi, moms! Yo. Crazy side note.
Yeah.
Tom, you're laying down.
I'm full of them today.
So casual.
Guys, this is what the people want.
Okay. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Who are the people?
I don't know. Whoever listens to this.
Your
Nick.
mom. Yes.
I work with a woman who knows your mother, I believe.
Oh, my mom brought this up. Yeah.
Yeah. Anne.
Yeah, I don't know her, but
okay.
I know my mom.
She said that she's like, yeah, your face came up on my Facebook feed the other day.
That's
like,
awesome.
You're I'm friends with one of the kids' moms.
Oh.
She's like, hold on, come back here, see if this looks like her. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Wow, amazing.
Man, I wonder if she listens to this.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Well,
yeah, probably not.
Whatever. I just was so confused.
Back on
and I
that was the casual moment with Tom.
Yeah, I'm back.
Anyway, back to this band. You were playing a show with them. You're doing some things.
So anyways, on the ride home, I threw the CD in the CD player.
My mom's in Cuba right now.
This song is the opener, and I was just like, wow. My point is, it's an awesome opening track.
What were you like? Wow. That's great. Wow. I'm a really big fan of the intro, and I don't know, it kind of loses me on the switch up to like the.
Oh, really?
Rock.
You weren't feeling the rock?
I know. I'm weird. Well, we have different tastes, and that's I'm just all about those
Taste.
ethereal 3 things.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's funny that I ended up on the opposite side of you for that one. I think the rock portion of it, it feels very strong in that environment for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels very comfortable.
Right.
I'm just presuming.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rest of the album sounds like. It's pretty rocky, like.
Yep. They have a few more moments like this where they get a little tweaky and experimental.
Sure.
That's a new buzzword. Tweaky.
And experimental.
I'm gonna get tweaky with
it's real
this
trendy too.
It
just like it was that space that they made and like that sound that they made was so great, and then it just goes away in the beginning. I would have been like really stoked if that was even just like a interlude or something. It just didn't. It kind of just went away. There was a lot of those sounds.
Yeah,
you know,
it's interesting to do that
disappeared.
at a start. I will say that.
That's why I didn't like it.
I guess I could hear that in the same way that like Tame Impala will do a similar thing, but they will do it in like the middle. Kevin Parker will do it in the middle of the song or something like that.
Okay.
Or that'll be the bridge where like production wise, he basically throws like a giant flanger over the
Big old flanger. Have you ever seen a flanger going through the
turning some
the
knobs.
atmosphere?
I'm Ted Flangers.
Okay. We're talking production on this podcast.
Off-track
now?
edition.
Oh, flangers and shit?
This is Earbuds off-track edition.
But he'll throw a whole like kind of flanger over the mix, the entire mix of it, and that's kind of what this sound. It wasn't a flanger, but just like something kind of like, it was kind of like very washed out in the whole mix in the start, and then it just like tightened up. Very quick.
So like changed spaces, like changed,
like trading places.
Maybe live it's different. Maybe it's like not as such a.
Hey,
I mean. I don't even know if I saw it live, to be honest.
Okay.
Oh,
that
really?
Track. I don't remember.
You think they would have opened the set with it?
Yeah, that may have been the case.
Don't recall.
I really, I don't recall.
After we became friends, things got a little
we
hazy.
became friends after the set. That's the thing.
A little hazy.
Yeah, things tightened up real quickly,
and then everyone just let it loose.
And then we left.
Oh man, off
and
the
we
chain.
went home and slept a good night.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. That was a cool track.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool.
Cut and dry.
Nick,
Yes.
You decided this week. You took a risk. You
did.
You jumped, and you chose a local artist.
I did.
A
Wow.
local electronic
artist.
artist.
Is it a? He's yeah. Is it a jump? Is it a risk? I don't know.
No, I'm just
Is he
being
an
honest.
artist?
Oh yeah, totally.
Well, then it's a jump.
Okay. Yeah. So Sorbmal.
Are you an
local-
artist?
I guess so.
Then it's a risk.
All right. What the fuck does that mean?
That's so true.
What does that mean?
If you're an artist, it's
Well,
risk.
then it's a risk. That's gonna be.
I don't know.
Can we get that in a
We're
t-shirt?
getting so dumb. I'm just gonna fucking
it's
play
a
this
risk.
song.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we're like way on the weird scale on this episode.
This is my second
almost
beer.
maybe unlistenable.
I'm sorry.
side.
man.
I think we're excited about what's to come.
I am. There's
Sure.
a lot of good picks in this episode, so don't let our weirdness ruin it, guys. I'm sorry.
So this is Sorbmal, right?
Who is a local electronic, but also like guitarist.
Yeah, this is a little psyche, a little trippy.
Yeah. A lot of Rat-a-tat influence and stuff, I'm pretty sure. And I've been a fan, and he just put out an EP, Arctic Giraffe, sorry. And it's like 10 tracks, and they're all in this style, and I think it's so cool that this dude cultivated this style, like being so low-key in the music scene, and like just kind of doing it all on his own. He's talented as hell, and cultivating this cool sound.
Yeah, I remember him and I chatted about music and stuff in high school.
Yeah.
And he kind of showed interest in a little bit of it. He was a guitar player back when I knew him, and we didn't really talk electronics. I think I'm just presuming that we eventually fell into that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was fucking like the post-hardcore kid, so I can't even imagine what a conversation with me at 18 would have been like at this point.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, man,
I do. I got. Don't worry, guys. I got proof of. I got X Wheels footage.
I think you need a breakdown, though. It's good, but you need a breakdown, no doubt.
Okay.
Where's your screamer?
No doubt. Where's
Your screamer. Get that man some water. He's got to
needs
scream.
more scream.
I will say, listening to this through headphones, so I listened to it in my car. I kind of split up everything. A lot of car listening.
Yeah.
Just kind of went on the road. I'm just like, all right, let's find something.
Sure.
I will say it sounds a lot more full and a much better mix through headphones than it did in my car.
Okay.
Which I've noticed that with other things before too. But
that's fair
it's
enough.
a
A lot of
very,
people.
very unique sound.
Yeah.
And I'm not very familiar with Rat-a-tat.
Okay. Well, we just played one track that, before, but
exactly. So, but this is really dope.
right.
This is dope.
Yeah, super
pretty dope.
I've been a fan of like everything that he's been doing, and then everything that's on the Arctic Giraffe EP / album or whatever.
I like that as a title.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. That's it. He's just a talented dude, like kind of making what seems like music on his own. That's like different and cool. And
Anyone is doing that here. I mean, like, you know, I've heard maybe components of what he's doing before, like some of the guitar riffing. I've heard like stuff of a similar style, and maybe some of the electronic components. But like as a whole, combining that all together, it's well done. I think he does it, and it doesn't sound super awkward, which I think sometimes when you're combining like that kind of, at least especially that kind of guitar playing with those electronic components, it can get a little like, what are you trying to do, bro?
Yeah.
But I think he does it pretty well.
He's got like a good grasp of like both worlds. It seems like definitely like a guitar player who, I think he's like a few years deep into production or whatever. But yeah, he just has that sound. You know, like you're saying, that's a mark of a good producer or artist or whatever. Somebody who has a sound and they know how to cultivate that.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's real nice.
Brian, what'd you think about this?
So I'm not as blown away, so to speak. But, But here's the deal. There's a lot of really cool elements of this whole song, and like especially we didn't get to it, but there's a tempo change. Is it a tempo change or more like a rhythmic sort of change? I don't know, but like halfway through the song, it's really,
he does that a lot,
and that's really cool. The one thing I don't like, I kind of am not into that whole like half of it's like almost like an electronic computer, sort of whatever sound, synth sound.
Yeah.
And then the other half is kind of lo-fi. I don't know. It's hard for me to get into.
Yeah, that's his. That's a lot of it. That's a lot of his sound. Is he does a lot of like pedal work with the guitar and stuff, like a lot of effects, like analog effects.
I will say the one thing that did like this is such a nerdy thing for me to get into, but guitar tone wise. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the tone of his guitar. Like, it sounds like he literally. Well, it sounds like he literally like plugged it into a computer.
Yeah,
like there
probably.
But like with nothing else.
Very dry.
Super dry, and it just sounded a little out of mix. And a little out of place.
I know. I think that's this song particularly.
That's what I was kind of wondering.
Yeah, there's way more variations of tones, guitar tones throughout the other works and stuff. So I wouldn't like write it off because of that. But it's a good
sure.
Thing to note. It's a good thing to note for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think it's a lot of really good ideas in the whole thing. Like, and even elements of the song individually that are just really cool. I mean,
yeah.
But,
well, I think that's the most of it. Sorbmal or Lambros backwards is.
Now it all makes sense.
Yeah, I know. That blew my mind too. His Arctic Giraffe EP. Check it out, guys. He's a great local artist.
Guys, check it all out. If you liked what you heard, check it out. And if you didn't like what you heard, well then,
make a comment below.
Yeah, please comment on it.
Yeah, we need comment threads.
So the next track.
We're moving on to. That was a ningle. Back to a bringle.
There's no tingles this week.
Is this a bingle or a bringle? Are we going to put my R in there?
I hate this now.
We're going to do bringle.
All right. No, just the whole like ingle thing we're doing.
Why do you hate it now?
I'm Tom Burtless now.
Yeah,
we hate everything.
We had such...
Oh, you dick.
There we go. Oh, that's funny how it came full.
This track is...
What is it?
I'm asking you, Brian.
Let's be conscious of time so we don't have to crunch.
Above and Beyond's Love Is Not Enough, but the acoustic version, which is on Spotify.
It is?
Yes. They released a record.
Oh, okay.
So, while you're finding that.
Yeah, please give some story.
So, Above and Beyond is a very, very largely known EDM electronic
trance
trio.
Yeah.
And so I think it was 2012. They made the
these guys super
drastic decision to they're pretty old to do all their music, basically completely recompose it and play it in as close to acoustic as I think they could really take their music, which means
I'm sorry, where is this?
It's the album is called Acoustic.
Okay. There it is. All right, got it. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. But so they recorded, I think it was over a period of 4 nights or 3 nights, 3 separate shows, and they recorded a video and the audio from the video to go with it.
Very cool.
And released it as a super duper great package. But it's unbelievable. If you know Above and Beyond and what they typically do, it's dance music. It's straight up club, you just groove music.
Right.
And so what they did was basically got an orchestra together, got brass sections, got multiple singers, live singers. It's unbelievable.
Great. I love it when electronic groups do that,
and it's drastically different from the original.
It can show
version.
Because it shows like.
And this is live for anyone that does not know. This is a live performance.
I think what this shows is that the music goes beyond just the best songs. If they can only be played in their medium, are not the best songs.
Right.
That was a stupid thing I just said.
No,
songs,
it makes sense.
all right, you know what?
Well
I guess that's
composed and
well-composed
musical
songs
still,
can exist in different mediums.
Yeah.
If you can play a guitar, or if you can play a full-on like electric rock song on an acoustic guitar, it still sounds great. Then you've truly written a good song.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's kind of the difference I think
yeah.
between a good and a great track is that it can kind of go through different mediums.
On production or like
absolutely
exactly or whatever to make that a hit or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate that a lot. I love seeing that. There's a lot. It's becoming a thing more and more in the past few years. But it's cool to see.
Yeah, this is cool. I gotta say, though, I just said all of that stuff I just said.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do like the electronic version more.
Yeah, sure. I do too. So.
I will say there's parts of the electronic version that are just things of EDM in general that I'm not hugely fond of, where the drums get a little cliche like immediately.
It's trance is the 80s music of like my prejudice that was 80s music is my prejudice of trance for like electronic music.
Okay.
This genre, what they do, it's something about like I think it's just it was so big for so long and like it has just so many cliche things in it about dance music, like even the tempo and the kick drums and like the way
I think there's just something to be said for like electronic music in general. For me, is like I like electronic music a lot. It's just that percussion is something that I'm so huge on in electronic music production, and it's such a thing that it's so quickly like destroyed, and like loses me in a song completely. Is when anything starts to go just like super just kick snare on everything. I'm like, yo, dude.
You talked about that. You said a really good thing in the Odessa episode, and you were like, just things that like the percussion or like the drums that like sit underneath and just pulse or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like the way you said that in that episode. So absolutely to get off the topic, but yeah. So the whole like prejudice thing of trance, I totally looked past it and I listened to it. I'm not a huge fan of the song, unfortunately, but because I think they do like trance has those cheesy things that like 80s music did, that like we're talking about the kick drums and things like that and the percussion,
right?
And sometimes I don't know, it all blends into one for me.
What about the acoustic song?
Yeah, what about the acoustic version of it?
Right.
I didn't really care about the trance one.
I don't really like her voice either for some reason.
Really?
I don't know. I didn't want to be too curmudgeony on this one. I just for some reason. I know. Hey, you know what? No, this is what a podcast is about.
Yeah,
it's about being a dick.
It's about being a fucking dick and hating everything. No, I don't know, but it's all right. It doesn't do a lot for me. I'm sorry, Bryan.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm a little bit in your boat on that regard too. I did enjoy the electronic version more. I do somewhat like her voice, but it's just something that like I don't know if I could listen to it with like so far. I'd say the track that we just listened to that you picked, Bryan, I think I could listen to with some regularity. It's just that I don't know this one.
It's real meh.
I don't know.
Yeah, for me, that's a taste.
I will say though, I'd be curious to hear her voice in a different setting, in a different kind of thing, because her voice kind of is a little like in a Mogan Heap,
a little bit,
thing for me, which I love that kind of vocal styling. But yeah, I don't know. It's okay.
And that's one thing that I thought was just really interesting about like they more or less redid these songs, but also one thing they kept consistent was all the vocalists that are featured on these recordings and I guess these performances, they're the ones that recorded on their record, so they got them all together to actually do these totally
that's
remodeled
very cool.
versions. That was kind of my big thing with this, was like having known Above and Beyond. I've known them for about a year now, known of them, and then I watched the DVD that they released. I watched it last week and was just like, what? Like that's unbelievable that
is cool.
It is this way.
It is a cool thing to see someone to see a group do that for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're a cool group. Like they do a lot of cool things for music in general and stuff. Like they're really active in I think like music education, and they like have like a lot of cool events and things and a label and stuff that's like really big.
Right.
But I don't know, it's just one song, so I'm not gonna write them off. But
So Nick, onto the last ningle.
Oh, sweet.
Final ningle.
I know it's Aeuria. What's the song?
Wrapped Up in Her.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. God, I love this song. It's gonna let it ride for a second.
Yeah, let's guys, let's feel this one out. I'm gonna talk a little bit so we don't get kicked off SoundCloud. So at least the waveforms
should be alright.
go
Sounds like
over
it's
this.
signed.
Okay.
Oh, this song. So actually, Lambro's Sorbmal, who we just covered, sister Alex, who's my friend, showed me this song, and it just wrecked my world. Like it really it was like a Quake song. I've heard Quake books being a thing where like it rocks your world and like changes like your perspective on stuff, and this is one for me. I know it's simple, but it's the same kind of like outline.
When you said Quake song, I thought that you were going to say it was in the game Quake.
Not in Quake, no.
It's going to be like, what?
Do you think it would fit? Do you think it would fit placement?
No, I don't.
I feel like if I were to apply this song to a visual, I'd be like watching life happen from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah,
like just,
I think he makes a lot of music for films, so that I think that would make sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Very soundscapey for me.
Once again, one of these things where like listen to it in my car.
Yeah.
And didn't really get a lot of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was kind of one of those things where like the song started and then it ended, and I didn't really have any like traction on it. But listening to it now a little bit more, I enjoyed it a little bit more than I did in my car.
I love the mix.
It doesn't grab me.
Yeah, that's fine.
A lot, to be honest. But I could see this being a really cool song. Like
just because I love it. Yeah,
I could see this being like
talk shit about it.
I could see this being a song maybe for me that's like maybe I don't want to say on like a sleep playlist, but like maybe like a night driving playlist or something like. Yeah. Something that's a little bit more like wind down.
Oh yeah,
like bringing it down.
It's definitely very chill.
Sure.
I love a lot about that song. Maybe it was like the time that I discovered it too, because like it was around the same time that I discovered. Well, I was really into Porter already, but like we talked about like me like kind of being influenced by Worlds and stuff. That album and like the more like songwriting like I don't know if I've ever heard another song that electronic song that has such. We've used humanized before, but like real and like it sounds like everything was played in, like nothing was automated.
Very
like,
true.
Everything is like almost either a real instrument. Or
another
like,
very cool use of percussion too. There's nothing that's so like things that use like this. I will say like that kind of percussion where it's like it's such a different tone in of itself. That's obviously being percussive, but it doesn't sound like a kick or a snare or a clap
like
or anything that you would like
sounds or like whatever.
It's such a crazy
that shaking
way
in the background.
It's such a crazy way to like think of percussion.
Yeah, I love that.
It's amazing.
And then it's still like a weighty song still though. Like it's very, I think it's very full. Like there's like still bass to it. Like when
absolutely.
that like off kilter piano comes in like and then it's like still like a big push.
You know,
like,
actually, now that you just said that, this to me plays like it plays like a See You Roast song but with a beat.
Yeah. That's
in that way,
that's a good idea.
It's kind of tinkery and kind of like has a lot of just strange, percussive sort of things going on. I don't know.
It really nailed
really cool.
Nailed that like soft spot in my heart for sure.
Guys, I was hoping to be more pronounced. I did just try to fart in the microphone.
Oh no!
You had a little weird face going on.
Yeah,
there.
you could kind of hear a little bit of like a blip in there.
Listener.
That was me trying to fart in the microphone.
This is a mature podcast,
guys.
Not safe for moms.
You're not wrong. All right, gang.
Yep, that's it.
Do we have to move on? Are we moving? Is it time to move on?
It's time.
Yeah,
Nick. But I just want to say I love that song.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Anyways,
I love you,
Nick. I don't know what to tell you.
No. Not a huge fan of.
Right at my
no. I thought it was okay.
Right at my
sweet. I didn't really. It's not that I disliked it. It just kind of like it didn't grab me in a big way.
That's fine.
But I could see this being still a cool song that could like on a night drive or something like that I could really gel with.
Yeah.
I think for me it's kind of got to hit in the right moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and so maybe I just haven't found that moment yet. But I don't dislike it. I'm not writing it off like I did the Adele song. I'll say that much. That is the song on this podcast that I know I will never like and listen to.
Cool. Glad I got to share that with you.
Is it me you're looking for?
Oh my god,
Lionel Richie.
No, I know, but I was like,
they're the same goddamn thing. Hello.
Yeah, I know.
It's not the same words though.
Right, but like, same.
We don't need to talk about that, Tom. You makes you upset.
Is this Bryan's podcast where he compares things to other things? Comparison corner?
Well, the comparison corner with BZ.
Is this an episode of the comparison corner?
Oh, we should. Oh, that'd be great if
we
did,
gotta
like,
really start
a side thing. Like I just edited it in real quick.
Corner.
Oh, we lost the GoPro. Sweet.
The frontal.
Cool. What are we just on your phone right now?
Hopefully. Oh, well, there's that guy too. Hey.
For
what? Who?
No, we don't.
Hit record on it real quick. Do another one.
Bryan,
we're down to one angle now. It's the silver one. It says record. It's really easy to see.
On
just
top?
on the back.
Oh.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
It's just like
we're gonna take a temporary.
No, we're good.
We're gonna leave it running, but this is just so everyone knows. Everyone knows who's listening to the thing.
Should be good. Screw it.
All right,
Should be
cool.
good. All right.
So, guys, let's talk
Move
about
on.
one of my favorite albums
So excited.
of this year.
This is-
Let me preface all this
Preface.
with so Kendrick Lamar, I knew of his previous work. I knew of his previous album. And it had so much hype around it, and he had a lot of hype in general.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't my thing. And then we saw him at Bonnaroo.
And it was a huge disappointment.
It was a pretty big disappointment. It was just him with a dude with a laptop.
Yeah.
And it was super lame and boring.
It sounded like garbage.
It
talking
sounded
about that.
so bad. And just like, I don't know if it was a lack of preparedness or what.
It could have been the venue too. I mean, that's hard to play
A huge
hip hop
stage.
like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle of the day when we saw him.
Right. It's a little bit of a rough time slot. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But I was put onto this album by my dear friend Corey Bibziak.
Thank you, Corey.
In a band
Shout out,
called
Corey.
In a band called Dream Beaches. They're really
Shout out
great.
Dream
So you
Beaches.
just go check them out. Plug. I should bring one of their songs on here. Which one of us should?
All right. So
Anyway,
It's in a
I
conflict of
don't know.
interest. You're like involved in it's a little conflict of interest.
I guess.
we don't have to answer to anybody.
Yeah, fuck
Anyways,
you, bro.
I'm here.
Oh.
Fuck off.
Next album
I'll
pick.
be
Next
checking you
album
guys.
pick
I'm
is
the answerer.
is Humble Braggers.
Ah.
HTP. No.
And-
Kyle
Anyways,
said, I was talking to Kyle Bites about it. He's like, if I ever get on that podcast, I'm just gonna pick all you guys' songs. I'm like, that's
He
so
would
weird.
too because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Shout
we
out
should
to Kyle
have him on the
Bites.
show.
We should have him on the show.
All right.
Anyway,
We have
so-
important shit to talk
so
about.
the
Let's do
the
this.
album that I
I'm gonna
picked.
swap a battery.
Okay.
Oh,
So the
Jesus.
album that I picked was Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly." So this album, and I made the mistake. I didn't want to make it sound like he's only had one other album, but I just knew that the Good Kid, Mad City, was a very big album.
Yeah, it was
previously.
the second.
In 2012. I guess it was his third one. If
I think this is his third one.
apparently he had Overly Dedicated in 2010,
Oh.
Section 8 in 2011. 2012 had Good Kid, Mad City, and then this year To Pimp a
So he's
Butterfly.
been a busy gentleman.
Apparently. And all of them are not like short albums by any stretch.
Yeah.
And this wasn't either. To Pimp a Butterfly is 16 songs, so I picked kind of a heavy hitter.
78 minutes and 51 seconds. I wrote it down.
Yeah,
78 minutes and 51 seconds.
They're not short songs, and it's a very lengthy album, and it's not something that he clearly just ripped through either.
No.
Because
This is an
there's
album,
there's
like-
a ton of crazy production. There's a giant concept at work
Yep.
in this whole entire piece, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think without knowing and diving in too hard into the lyrics, but just of what I've heard, I think it's genius.
It
I
is.
think this
I
is this may be considered a masterpiece. This
It's
is
crazy. Like
unbelievable.
I didn't like Kendrick's the way that he rapped before. I just didn't like the tone.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
of his voice.
I still get that sometimes in some songs.
There's a little bit of that. I think on this, I don't know if it's dialed back or it's just that the music and everything else around it has supported it to make everything just so great. But this album is so unbelievably well done. It's insane.
amazing, yeah.
It's not even like it goes outside of the realm of just talking about it as a rap album. It's
Right.
just as an album in general. The reason that I picked this is like I'd only listened to it fully 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But the number of songs on this album that I've clocked in a shitload of plays on.
Okay.
I
wish I had. I need to listen to it way more.
for
Like,
sure.
It's
I realize that there's songs on here that I need to listen to way more.
so deep.
Um,
yeah, so much.
The songs that I've listened to with a pretty good amount of regularity, For Free, King Kunta, these walls.
Of course,
For Free.
For Free is the one you
It's
choose.
so
Dude, for
crazy.
free. Let me say why. for free. So Corey,
this dick ain't free.
So
there we go.
So,
I love that.
So Corey told me, like, he's like, you really got to check out this album. And we were just talking, when he lived here, we would talk about kind of like what we were listening to lately. And he's just like, you should really check this out. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. And I got through the first song and I was like, all right, this is all right, cool.
Wait, whose room is that now? Back then,
Jake.
Oh, okay.
Jake.
Who's back there?
He was the other guitar player for Humble Braggers for a while.
Yeah.
Who's in the back of your house?
Well, it's got massive 8-inch studio monitors and like a huge rack of like guitars and banjos and stuff. So I was like,
that's Jake.
Yeah, it's Jake, dude.
Yeah.
So I got through the first one, and then For Free started, and it's a ridiculous song, obviously.
Oh my God.
But
go ahead.
It's also. He's rapping over a segment of free jazz.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Which is crazy.
His lyrics, his words, his speech, like the flow on it is
the
free
flow
jazz.
is fucking exactly
It is free jazz.
It's insane, and it blew. As I was listening to it, I was just like, "This is blowing my mind," because it's so well done. He doesn't skip a beat. He doesn't. Everything is immaculate, and it's not even just that song. It's every other song. Like, it's all so unbelievably well done. It's mind-boggling.
It is. It really is.
I need to, like I said, more listens because I'm sure I'm just going to keep finding more intricate details and connections that I don't.
And a tiny little side before we start playing some tracks off of this. He was on, I want to say Jimmy Fallon. He was on a late night show recently. Yeah. It might have been Stephen Colbert with his new residency. And Kendrick was on. And what he did like 5 of these songs, a compilation.
Really?
Like a medley, you mean? Or?
Yeah, a medley. I'm sorry. A medley of 5 of these songs with a full band.
Oh, it's so
what?
Yeah.
That's so good.
And it was fucking insane.
God,
it was
Kendrick.
amazing. He had Thundercat, if you guys know Thundercat,
This
on
album,
bass.
This album is loaded with people, by the way. Sorry. That
Yes.
That
it
just
is.
triggered that thought.
And,
I mean, Dr. Dre produced it. That's a huge
and
thing.
Flylo and Thundercat.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Sufjan
Dude.
Stevens' track is on here, sampled on here. I
Yeah.
just found
Really?
that out.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Anyway, sorry, Tom. I cut you off.
No, it's I think the genres that he jumps through, there's elements of soul, there's elements of R&B, there's elements of pop and electronic and like
and then straight up like boom bap hip hop and
Yeah,
like,
dude, throwback to the 90s. Oh my god, just that knob turning sound.
G-funk type
Yeah.
stuff.
man.
Oh man.
So
Let's start talking about a track.
yeah,
Let's start talking about a
so
track.
we talked about it. I'm going to throw it on.
Here it is.
God.
It's everything about
Choir?
the song is crazy.
I didn't know what to make of it at first, but
Wait for it. Wait for it, everybody.
oh yeah.
Here's
It's
this
so
monologue.
theatrical, man.
It's just like the juxtaposition obviously is the point of this track. And it's crazy. It's so good.
Yeah, it sounds like, actually, now that you just said juxtaposition, I just feel like this sounds like, jazz sounds kind of like money, it sounds kind of swanky and
Sure.
But and under this is this girl complaining about not having her things and her money and her glam and whatever, and then
And not
he
having
just
a gun.
goes off.
Free. You looking at me like it ain't a receipt, like I never made ends meet, eating your leftovers and raw meat.
Oh my god.
What a like an awesome thing for like a hip hop artist to do too. Even though
Seriously.
jazz and R&B and all those things are rooted like in hip hop, but they're all intertwined.
Yeah.
Kind of. But such a who the hell else did something like that?
Exactly.
No,
I mean,
it's
that's why listening to it, to Kanye's credit, like he's taken this whole extremely dark electronic edge of hip hop and really done it and created these almost industrial tones and using them.
Yeah.
Where Kendrick in this, it kind of sounds like going back to the roots of what came to be of hip hop.
Yeah.
And like, we're not gonna sit here and talk about like any. Like we have extended knowledge,
exactly,
or credibility in hip hop. And also, we mentioned this, but kind of before going into it, also not as 3 white dudes from Orchard Park. There's a lot of social themes here, clearly
that we've heard about but can't totally understand.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna give my like
we can't.
perspective.
That's not what we're here for.
On life in Compton.
Yeah.
So, but from a musical aspect, though, the leaps and jumps in this album are crazy. So I'm going to start Into These Walls.
Yes.
I remember you was conflicted.
I listened to this song at least 100 times.
This is
when it hits in.
Yeah, this is the one of the most hip hop like boom bap hip hop type of
and
tracks.
It just goes so well. And each of these ones too, like to his credit, like there's not a song on here that's like clearly meant to be like this is the one that is going to get played a shitload
All Right?
on. I guess All Right.
Yeah.
Is the closest to it.
Yeah.
But like they have these intros and these like intricate parts fading in and out, and like nothing's clearly like this is commercially.
Sex.
This is when this kicked in, I was like, this is one of my favorite songs of the year for sure.
At 112, it gets crazy. Dude, that's where like they bring in like a little G-funk synth and stuff. Go like at like 110 or something. If we're gonna, there it is.
Oh yeah, dude. It's such a good blend of like old and new.
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
like
I was so happy. I was thinking about that. I'm so glad that like Dr. Dre and like Kendrick or whatever, they're still cultivating this sound and bringing it into it. Sounds modern. Like it's
it does.
mastering and like mixing wise and stuff. It sounds so good.
Absolutely.
And, it's so cool that still is out there. It's still doing it. G-Funk era.
Dude, it's
And then evolving though at the same time, incorporating people
for
like
sure.
Fly Low and like all these different styles. So
seriously. So let's just gonna keep kind of going right along. So like those two were big ones for me. I do love All Right as well.
I really don't like All Right. Yeah. Because I think I picked it out as
I'm not gonna say that word. Times like yeah. I always do that in my car. Remember this song? Everyone can get.
I love that image of you.
We gonna be all right. Oh man, I know this is a little commercial.
That's why I think I picked it out. Unfortunately,
fucking love it. It was another one thing. This came out and I was just like, yeah, baby.
Yeah, well, it's super feel good.
This is like I
baby.
crank like
All right, honey.
when I go pick up Katie to take her to work
Yeah.
in 15 minutes. I'm gonna crank this in my car and just.
awesome, so awesome.
And I'm not, if anyone's listened to the music that I make, clearly it's routed in nothing like this. But this album is just such a, and I'm not like the biggest hip hop guy. I think not really out of not liking it. It has nothing to do with that. It's just out of not understanding it like anything else that I've listened to.
Yeah.
But this album has made me want to put a conscious effort into understanding more hip hop because this is just crazy. It's insane. I've loved Jay-Z albums and I've loved Kanye albums and I've loved that album that they made together.
Right.
But and Biggie and I liked some other stuff too. But this album is just like I've listened to these songs religiously because they're just so damn good. And like it's so honest, and like
Definitely,
and like I said, without going too deep into lyrics or anything like that, but just the way that the delivery is honest, the music is honest, every aspect of it just is so real, and it's fucking. There's not.
If Kendrick wasn't already like having like on his throne of being one of the realest hip hop artists, then he just totally got seated there with this kind of like this album. Because I know
it's crazy.
It's not new, is it? I don't say it's not new. Like
it's of this year.
Oh, okay, so
March.
I don't know. Yeah, his transparency into his life and the stories, the way he delivers things, crying, rapping a track, just showing his vulnerability and things as an artist. Like,
absolutely,
yeah, so great, universally great in all like genres of music,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I will say like I feel like we have to talk a little bit about the lyrics and the social relevance.
Yeah, sure. We can, yeah.
Oh,
you know
for
what I mean?
sure. I guess it's just one of a thing of.
We obviously there's not a direct relation to like a parallel to our lives.
That's fine. That doesn't matter. We can talk about things.
But there's so much relevance. I mean, just what's going on. I mean, in this country, especially. I mean, there are multiple mentions of people being shot. Trayvon Martin's specifically mentioned in one of the songs.
Absolutely.
It's a very socially conscious and angry album. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Angry but looking for solutions. Like there are points where he mentions Black Panthers, but at the same time is saying, we want peace. That's ultimately the goal.
I think that I don't know if it's actually this song, but yeah, he kind of talks about the internal conflict of it all.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's interesting. I guess in that sense is what I meant. Like, I can't offer a perspective or an understanding at all, but the way that he discusses it is a very interesting point of view that I guess you don't really hear a lot. That I'm aware of. I don't know. It's all a very interesting way of putting it about kind of unifying the things that have maybe brought or torn people apart.
Absolutely.
And unifying over a greater sense.
Yeah. I think that Kendrick is also good at being angry, but like in a good way. Like he has like angry tracks in here, like you're saying, and there is like obviously pissed off undertones, whatever.
Right.
But it's not just like it's articulated intelligently.
Absolutely. It's not just fuck white people or anything like that. It's not, or not fuck the
at least not blatantly. It's done in a and I'm not even criticizing it. It's done in a way that it needs to be done and artistically.
You would hope that if someone has to get angry about this shit, you hope it would be in this way. Like
absolutely. Yes. This is a very constructive,
in a masterpiece of work, and where it's one of those things where this album makes all simultaneously. We kind of talked about it like we all wish we had some more time to dissect the lyrics, and everything that's being discussed in these songs, because the snippets that you can grab, or at least the snippets that I think we've mutually grabbed, it's very eye opening.
Sure. There's even like how much a dollar costs. Like that's not even like really like a racial thing.
No,
like
it's
that's
not.
just like societal thing.
That's societal thing. That's what's so good about that there are plenty of. The racial thing is a little difficult. It's not difficult for us to understand. We just don't have the same perspective because that's not the way we've lived. We've interpreted the world, But there are plenty of just.
And there's been enough people. Enough white people that have presumed black people's opinions and situations that
we're not doing that here.
No, absolutely not.
But I honestly think that this is a really important album. I think it's I just read on Wikipedia that during July, or by July, so this came out in March, by July this had sold 647,000 copies, which is huge for an album like this. Like you said, there's hardly anything marketable really as singles on here.
Yeah, I think in terms of and once again this
I was a single though. I was a pretty big single.
Oh, and that was amazing.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Oh my god.
I think that one. Yeah, that one's got some
like lyrically. Holy shit. Because the chorus is just he's saying I love myself.
That's so great.
It's so empowering. That's what I think is really important about the whole record. It's angry and it's sad and there are parts, but overall it's very empowering. It's like don't just be upset with you or others or whatever. Just
Yes.
Like you're alive, and I love those themes. I'm always big on that shit. That was one of the big things with that Bob Dylan song that I had a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Man. Oh.
Oh yeah, and this is such a.
Oh man.
You know what I gotta say? This kind of does in listening to it. It reminds me a little bit of a Childish Gambino song.
Okay.
I can't think of right now.
And I love how he's just willy-nilly woo!
Yeah.
I think at 1 minute,
it's great.
At 1 minute, it's really good. It breaks a little bit, and he just flows so well. Yeah, I think this is it. Nuts. It's great.
It's just
super feel good, empowering, like you're saying.
Yeah,
it's so great that such a bright and happy song like that, what you're saying is also in the extremely long album of this. Empowering versus just being angry and stuff, having outlets for that kind of passion.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really does make me want to, because this genre of music and the things that he's talking about. It's I guess for me, it's just a thing that I have ignorance to. Like I just don't have a lot of understanding of some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a giant understanding of rap music, and that's out of my own self, just not going and pursuing it.
Yeah,
whatever.
But this makes me want to do that, and this makes me want to read into this stuff more, and it offers a new perspective, I think, and without getting so too deep on a music podcast between three friends, but just about stuff that's clearly very important right now.
Yeah.
That I think we in a bigger sense need to understand more.
I like the way you look at that. Yeah.
And so I think if it comes from someone that is doing it while also creating insanely beautiful and just masterful music,
Right.
it makes it easier
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
to dive into.
Totally.
Absolutely. Well,
And it gives you maybe a better place to start.
It absolutely does. I mean, this was an album, especially after seeing that performance, which, sorry, Kendrick, not good. But
Right.
I would have never listened to this if you hadn't brought it up. And I'm so glad you did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
probably me as well.
even beyond that, just with rap music in general, because I've never disliked rap music. I there have been plenty of songs where I love them for the lyrical prowess and the social, what's the word I'm looking for? Relevance of all of it. And I love that. I love that in any song. But I think like what mass media has created regarding hip hop and rap, it's like it's very shallow, and I've always had this, up until probably the past couple of years, really. I've had this that's been my view about hip hop and rap. I'm like, it's so shallow. Like,
it's not wrong view.
You know what I mean?
It's unfortunately what's out in the main spotlight.
I think that kind of maybe adds into what he's talking about. It's just
Absolutely.
like that's kind of maybe what you expect to hear about
Yeah.
from a mainstream rap artist.
Right. Yeah. And this is so refreshing.
Exactly.
For me,
exactly.
It's not like this hasn't been there, because people have been doing this since
True,
the
but
70s
it's
and
not
80s,
in the limelight.
but-
It's not in a place for you to see, and it kind of. I guess it begs the question of why, and
why isn't it?
Why isn't it?
Why?
mainstream?
Yeah,
Why
like
aren't these questions mainstream? Why aren't they? Yeah.
right? I mean, why isn't this stuff more in the limelight, and why is the stuff that's being touted as this is what hip hop music is? It's about trying to get laid or trying to whatever.
Make
as
make
that is the
money,
stuff
yeah.
that's touted as well. This is what rap music is.
Yeah.
And it's a weird thing, but like you said, like this isn't the first time. There's been a lot of music that's like this. There's been a lot of rap artists that sing about social injustice and economic disparity and the insane differences and issues in the United States and the world at large.
Absolutely.
But they don't get that attention. They don't get hotline bling attention level.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think that's why what I was saying, like, this is going to be, well, to me, I feel like this could potentially be like in the future. I mean, right now it's very important regardless of whether or not it has an overall impact. But I think because Kendrick Lamar being in the limelight that he is in, it could be very important. That you know what I mean?
I think it very much so is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure there's other smaller artists and stuff out there that are like still, well, of course, doing
exactly
conscious things, but just because
he's
hip hop
so
for the
big.
longest time was like that's kind of like what it came from was they would not talk about these issues and stuff, and it was like an escape for we're weighing far too much socially into this, but
it's
what
great.
it is, it is great. Hip hop needed this. And Kendrick was in the perfect place,
Right.
And he made the perfect album.
I think music needed it because I think anytime that there's a clear issue socially, that music needs to speak. Arts need to speak out into it, and I think that for what is going on currently, this is exactly what
I love
needed.
Yeah, I needed
to happen.
It's so good.
I really I love this record. Clearly, I'm
it's
glowing
great.
about it.
Yeah, I love that we can sit around and just talk about.
Also, we didn't even talk about it, but at the end is a flashback interview.
Just play in the back or something. Really quick.
Right.
I know we got to end or whatever, but what I'm stoked about is that we're talking about music, but we're talking about these big topics, these big ideas, grand ideas. So not a lot of music does that. I don't know. We haven't done that yet, so this is cool.
Yeah. True. So this is Mortal Man, and so in this, he so throughout the entire song, there's a poem that he's kind of giving you chunks of at the end of each song, or at least every other song throughout the album.
Yeah.
He's putting in lines from this poem, and then he reads the whole poem at the end of Mortal Man.
Well, after having...
No, before.
Really?
He does the poem before going... Well, this whole story, or at least whatever he's concluding each song with, he does it, and then he has the flashback interview, I'm using air quotes, with Tupac.
He must read it at the end of that as well, though.
Well, he reads the whole thing about the cocoon and the caterpillar and the cocoon. Yeah. That's different, though. What I'm talking about is the segment that he talks about...
You're right, that is different. Yeah.
Which is an incredible other poem that I fucking loved.
Yeah.
And he plays it off like it's being read to Tupac, and then that goes into the interview.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if...
Pac. He's like asking where he went and stuff.
Yeah.
So what's the deal? Does anyone know anything about that?
Yeah, it's an old interview that like Pac did. Or whatever.
So did he just cut it?
What?
Who did he do it with? Because
I don't know.
It's playing it off like it's Kendrick Lamar talking with Tupac, but
and it's done really. So that's a real interview.
Yeah.
So that's done seamlessly.
Yeah, Kendrick just wrote his questions around him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's worked so it's done so well.
Crazy. Because I didn't know if it was someone because people were saying that it's all stuff that he said before, and I didn't know if it was stuff that like Tupac had said that someone else was like reading as a response to what Tupac or what Kendrick was questioning.
Right.
But because I just like typed in my phone after, I was just like, who's he? Like, because we talked about Dre. I didn't know if he was talking to Dre or like I don't know what some of these guys sound like.
Yeah.
And
that's Tupac for sure.
Yeah, and I was just like I said, totally.
Let's move that part. Let's
There it is.
Myself as a natural born hustler.
There's Tupac.
Yeah, so there's Tupac. And it really is seamlessly done to make it sound like they are really talking to each other. And it's a crazy, awesome way to end an album.
So sweet.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Ridiculously good.
I love that melancholy piano line behind it too. It's like
and there's some like free jazz kind of comes in and out throughout it too.
Such an artistic album.
Yeah,
it really
conceptual
is,
album. Yeah.
So, guys, we're gonna have to cut it there.
Yeah. That was a great episode.
It was great. I'm glad we got to talk about this album. I'm glad I got to revisit it in a bigger sense. I've been listening to a lot of songs off of it, but I'd only really listened to the entire thing a few times, and so kind of re-listening to it this past week, it was very eye-opening. And just very meaningful. Clearly. And like I said, there's even more to dig into.
I'm gonna keep.
We could do a whole episode or two on that album.
Yeah, we could for sure.
It's huge. It's huge.
The aftermath.
So, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Earbuds. I said the Earbuds. It's just Earbuds.
It is just Earbuds.
But
you guys can.
The Earbuds.
We are the Earbuds. We got your Bringle, your Ningle, and your Tingle.
Tell you about it.
T-shirts coming soon.
You can subscribe to us on SoundCloud. You can like us on Facebook. I believe by the time this episode goes live, we'll be on iTunes.
Mainstream,
baby.
YouTube's.
On YouTube's as well. This will be the second YouTube episode. You'll get to see me laying on the couch.
Real casual.
And trying to fart into a microphone. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you next time.
This dick ain't free.